Oh, okay, I forgot. We also have this special move, which is, I don't know what it's called. Pretty much going to be Honda Slap. I think it does beat projectiles, if I'm not mistaken. Let's make Ryu shoot a Hadouken. At least in Street Fighter 5 it beat projectiles. Yeah, so it still beats projectiles. If you want to not take any drive gauge from projectiles with Honda, you can definitely do this move. Yo, what is good? It's your boy Punk, and I'm back with another video. Today we have a very good one because today is going to be our second ever guide on this channel, and today we have a character you probably would not expect me to do a guide for so early. It is the Sumo Master. We're going to be showing you how to become a Sumo Master from the Sumo Master himself, E Honda. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be showing off some E Honda tech, you know, going through all the guide stuff that we did with Cammy, from the combos, normals to the whatever it is. You already know we got you covered here, and we're going to teach you how to play Honda and not just headbutt and butt slam spin like everyone thinks that's what you Honda players do. But I'm here so you don't have to do that no more. So without further ado, before we get into this guide, I need you to go like, comment, subscribe, and turn the post notification bell on, and I'll see you in the video. So just like the Cammy guide, first thing we have to go over are E Honda's normals. So just like Cammy, Honda crouch jab is pretty much going to be his fastest button along with his stand light kick. So both of those buttons are his fastest button. Crouch jab is pretty much a pretty good long range poke. You see, as you can see, it's literally just a stop sign. You see Honda just like stop. The crouch jab, look how far it reached. And the best thing about this button, I would say, is the fact that when you do this button, you can buffer it into hands pretty much any range freely. And if your opponent happen to walk into you, then you might just get some free damage with jab into hands. That's the way I see this button. Is also good to just check your opponent from moving, and to on defense is very good to, you know, throw this out when you're trying to defend. So it's quite a few unique uses for E Honda's crouching jab. And next we're going to have the standing jab, which I would say this one isn't as useful as the crouching jab. Maybe it has a bit more range, so it's a bit better in neutral, I would say, than the crouching jab, because you can just also buffer it to hands. So I would say this button is a bit better in neutral, but you can't actually chain this jab. So as you can see, this jab does not combo into another stand jab. It will combo into a crouch jab, but you have to link it. You can't just chain it, kind of like how the crouch jabs are, you know, like you see this. But yeah, stand jab is still pretty much just a good poke that you can use to buffer into special moves. The next button we have is going to be the standing light kick, which this one is also his fastest button at 4 frames, which I don't really think it's too useful. You can, it's special cancelable, but you don't really see it often from Honda. I would say you're not going to really be using much of this button because it just doesn't really have the range like the crouching light. So yeah, I would say that this button you just probably won't see yourself using as much. Next button we have to go over is the crouching light kick, and I would say this button is pretty much used in strings, block strings like this. You don't really use it for anything else, but block strings or combos from jabs are like your best reason to use this. So this is pretty much the one block string you will be doing is light and jab, or jab light, you know. So those are the block strings you would really be using for this button, and that is going to be the main use for the crouch light kick for E Honda. Next button we're going to go over is the standing medium punch. This button is very good from E Honda. It's very good to whiff punish with. So if you see your opponent whiffing a crouching medium kick, a sweep, or whatever it is, this is a very good button to catch them with. As you can see, it does move forward on its own. So it does advance forward a little bit while you're doing the button. While also this button is going to be Honda's only plus button. It is 10 frames, so a bit slow, but when you get the knockdown, you can apply pressure and keep your plus frames with the standing medium punch here. This is his only plus button at +1. So this button is pretty much used, in my opinion, to whiff punish with, and of course the pressure with, because it is going to be your only plus button out without using any drive meter. So I think that is the most important. And the same goes for the crouching medium punch, But unlike stand medium punch, this one does have a little less range and it does not move forward. But the good thing about this button is it's faster than the standard medium punch. So it is a more effective whiff punish button in my opinion. You can whiff punish a bit better with the crouching medium punch, while also this button is very good to just throw out and buffer into like headbutt or into 100 hand slap, because it is very good range and it's just kind of a button that's just like stopping you from moving forward while also being hard to whiff punish. So this is a very good button in my opinion that you do want to use, as the same as the standard medium punch, except it's just a bit faster. So it gives it just that make it a bit more easier for you to whiff punish with. Next button we're going to have is the standard medium kick. Just like the standard medium punch, this does move forward a little bit, and I would say the main reason is pretty much just to poke the opponent from a good distance. You're about right here. You see it has pretty decent range. It is 10 frame startup. Just a good poke, can't cancel it, anything like that, so just a decent poke. Next button we're going to go over is the crouching medium kick, which is also used just like the standard medium kick. It's a very good long range low poke. You can't cancel it or anything, but it is very good range, and also is very good on block because it is -2. But the good thing on block is when it does hit at a close range, you can get the combo like that, you know, so very good. But this button I would say is good poke and is very much used to apply pressure with drive rush. Is a very good because it becomes plus on block and is a low, so it's +2 on block, and then on hit is +9 from drive rush, which is going to give you a bunch of combos that of course we'll show you later on in the video when we get to that part. But those are the main reasons I would say you would be using the crouching medium kick for. Now next button going to be the standing heavy punch, and this button is amazing. There's a lot of good uses. It is very good anti-air. This is pretty much going to be your main anti-air as E-Honda outside of headbutt. This button will pretty much anti-air all the time for you. It is 8 frames, so very fast startup, and it just has a really good hitbox above his head that can stop people from crossing you up a lot of the times. So this button is really good for anti-airing, and also is very good for whiff punishing, because if you don't know, on punish counter this button has this crumple state. So anytime you whiff punish a button, you will get this crumple state, which can lead into big damage, which I'll show you later on in the combo part of the video, of course. So yeah, this is going to lead into big damage for you. You see Ryu falling like he drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like he just got off a shift and drunk 3 strong zeros right away, back to back. This button is very good for that. So those are going to be the main uses for this button. It's the anti-air and to try to get whiff punishes with. It is 8 frames, so very fast button for a heavy. Next button we're going to show off is going to be the crouching heavy punch. This button I think is really amazing. As you can see, it moves so far forward, and the fact that it is only -3 on block is amazing. So you cannot get punished from any range doing this. If you do this button from here, you're only -3. The fastest light button in the game is a 4 frame, so you will never be punished for using this button. So this button is really good to create whiff punishes. You can whiff punish with. Also very good when you have the sumo spirit activated. You can actually cancel this button into the 100 hand slap, so it actually becomes a very good hit confirmable button, because you can cancel it very late, so you are able to hit confirm it. So that might be something you want to practice if you play Honda. Definitely want to get that down. Hit confirming from this button is going to be very important. So that is the ways that you would be using the crouching heavy punch. Next button we have is going to be Honda's standing heavy kick, which is pretty much just a combo ender. Don't really use it for much else outside of doing combos with it, so you wouldn't really worry about this button too much in neutral or anything. We'll just show you more about this button during the combos. Next button we have is Honda's sweep. Honda's sweep is actually very good. It is -10, but as you can see, when you block it, it pushes Honda back quite far, so a lot of characters might not actually be able to punish from these ranges. So you're actually able to throw this sweep out at good ranges as long as you space yourself out really well. As you can see, look, there will be nothing Ryu can do that's fast enough to hit me from this range. That's why this is a really good sweep. It is a hard knockdown always, so this button is very good if you want to just get a hard knockdown, or maybe if you just want to bait your opponent to try to punish you, and then you can get a whiff punish on their attempt to punish you. So you can set up things like that off of the sweep. The last button for Honda is going to be probably my favorite button with this character. Is going to be his forward heavy kick. This button is amazing. It's not like how it was in Street Fighter V. If you're wondering, this button is just a long range poke now. It's just a low poke. It does hit low. It's -5 only, so you will never really be punished unless you do it this close, which even spaces you at kind of far, but you will never get punished for this button. And it takes about a whole bar of drive gauge almost. So very good poke. And the really good thing about this is on punish counter, this button has a knockdown. It knocks you down so you're able to get into the opponent's face with Honda and start some pressure up, which is a very good use for this button. If you do want to whiff punish and your opponent is whiffing from really far away, definitely hit this button. A long range poke. It hits low, so a lot of times people aren't really looking for this in neutral. So you can get a lot of damage, just straight damage off of just throwing out this button, and your opponent might just be walking back and forth, not watching their feet, and it's going to help you just get a lot of free little poke damage. So next thing we're going to go over are Honda's special moves. Now obviously if you've been playing this game, you probably have a lot of trouble, or maybe you don't, but you might hate this move. It is the sumo headbutt. You know it, you love it, or maybe you hate it, but this move of course is always pretty good for Honda to just throw out unexpectedly. But the bad thing about it in this game is that since there is perfect parry, a lot of people now react to headbutt with perfect parry, which is why you don't want to get too obvious with this move, and you don't want to use it too often. You want to use it very sparingly, so that it's not very easy for your opponent to catch onto it. And the reason being is not because of hit on block. It takes one whole drive gauge away, which is very important, I think, to E Honda's overall strategy in this game, which is why I say you don't want to get too predictable with it, but you always want to throw it out randomly, because it will take a whole drive gauge out of your opponent's drive meter every single time it lands. Okay, now the next move is going to be the sumo slam, aka the butt slam. Another move that people may hate or may like a lot. And this move is pretty good in this game because it is, for the first time ever, +1 on block, non-EX. Just regular version is +1 on block. But just like the headbutt, you don't want to just throw out the butt slam, because it can be perfect parried or punished in other ways very easily if you're very predictable with this move. I would say this move is best when you have your opponent cornered and they can't walk around, because sometimes you might just whiff this, the second part of it, because your opponent walks around under it, or maybe he walks past it and he can get a whiff punish on you. But in the corner, you don't really have to worry about this problem. You can kind of just toss it out and not worry about that, and then it's plus on block. So if they don't land a perfect parry on it, you are plus on block, and it is your turn to still create pressure. On top of, if you do land this in the punish counter as the second hit of this headbutt punish counter, it creates this unique bounce right here. But it's only on the second hit, which is very common thing, and you're able to get combos off of this. So I will be showing that, of course, later in the video. But remember that this does give you a punish counter on the second hit of the butt slam, so it makes it very good. If someone mess up a punish, you have to be aware, so you can get a big damage combo usually. Honda's next special move is, of course, his 100 hand slap. Everyone knows it. I feel like everyone loves this move. You can't really hate the 100 hand slap. It's too iconic. And now the good thing about it in this game, it is no longer a move that you need to mash anymore. It is a motion, just down back punch, quarter circle back punch, and it is going to give you the 100 hand slap. And this move is very good because it is -4 on block the light version. So spaced out with a few jabs, you can give yourself a lot of your opponent's drive meter on block every time you make your opponent block a jab with Honda. Of course, you don't want to use the medium and heavies too much because they are a lot more minus at -8. But if you are very good at spacing it out, like at these ranges, or if you just toss it out like this, it does a lot of drive gauge on block, and your opponent will not be able to punish you if you very well space this out. So I think that 100 hand slaps in this game is mostly just used to take drive gauge away from your opponent on block, and also just to end combos with, which is very good. And also if you get the sumo spirit, you get more combos, and pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much just for combos, I guess. It doesn't actually change the frame data in this game. So you do get better combos when you have the sumo spirit, but I would say this is pretty much just burn the drive gauge down on block or to end combos with. It's very important. The next special move we have with Honda is, of course, his command throw. If you don't know what a command throw is, it's pretty much just a throw that you cannot tech. So you would never be able to tech this. You only can hold up or backdash against it. It's the only way to get out. Obviously, you have to be kind of close to do this, but it is a good way to finish out rounds especially, or to just catch your opponent off guard to get some free easy damage. Nothing very advanced about this move, you know, just the command throw. And the next move, and the last special move that Honda has, is going to be his new special move. So it's going to be the sumo dash, which is this little stance here from Honda. It's kind of like a stance, a dash, whatever you want to call it. But in this stance, there's two enders that you can do. One of them being the 3-hit slap, and the other being the rise, which gives you a lot of combo options, which we're going to talk about later. You just really use this as a combo ender. Outside of the EX one, it is plus on block. So if you do EX into the slats, you will be +2 on block. But for the rest of these are just pretty much used. You pretty much will only just use this move as a combo ender. So you don't really have to worry about it too much at this point. And the last special move actually for Honda is this, which is the sumo spirit actually, which gives Honda better combos with 100 hand slap. Pretty much makes it +4 on hit instead of the +2 or +3 that it usually is. And also, if you knock someone in the sky with Honda and you have this activated, it gives you this ground bounce off of 100 hand slaps. So pretty much going to be the use is just for combo enders and 100 hand slap. That is pretty much the use for that special move. Oh, okay, I forgot. We also have this special move, which is, I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty much going to be Honda's slap. I think it does beat projectiles, if I'm not mistaken. Let's make Ryu shoot a Hadouken. At least in Street Fighter V, it beat projectiles. Yeah, so it still beats projectiles. If you want to not take any drive gauge from projectiles with Honda, you can definitely do this move. And also a good use for this move is when you do have this on, you're able to cancel your 100 hand slap into it. So if you have this, you can cancel this 100 hand slap and to get just a bunch of more damage and combos. That's pretty much going to be all of Honda's special moves. Next, we're going to move on is to the supers. Honda level 1 super. Pretty much just a combo ender, of course, like most supers in this game. But it does push you all the way to the corner. If you are not in the corner, you just go flying across the screen. And Honda can't really get any pressure started, but it's very good because you want to try to get your opponent in the corner as fast as possible with Honda, because that's when I feel like this character just becomes extremely scary. So that is his level 1 super. Level 2 super, pretty much going to be a very good way to get through fireballs. As you can see, you make where you throw a fireball, boom, punish counter. So a pretty good way to get through fireballs with the level 2. If you are struggling to get through the fireball in the matchup, definitely can consider using the level 2. And it does a pretty decent amount of damage, 28, 50. And it also pushes your opponent really close towards the corner. So that is very good also. And last but not least is Honda's level 3, which I believe also goes through fireballs. Yep. But if you want the animation, you have to do it pretty close. You can't do it from this far. You're only just going to get that one hit. But if you do it from a decent range, you will still get the animation. So you can go through it. Fireballs with it also is just used for, of course, to end combos with like every other super. So that's pretty much just going to be your supers with E Honda and the uses for them. Next, we are going to go over is some drive gauge usage with E Honda. What is the best button to use for the drive gauge? Obviously, it's going to be either your standard medium punch. In my opinion, this leads close enough to get a grab after you don't have to walk or anything. Very good button to use for the drive gauge for Honda. Also, I would say his crouching medium kick also, which leads in range to grab if you do it close enough. And the other good thing about this is that people like to walk back a lot on Honda because he is a big boy, big grappler, kind of slow. But this will catch them in his +2 on block when you drive rush from it. And also, if they don't block it, you get a combo. So that is really good drive gauge. In my opinion, ways to use it, drive gauge. You can also do forward heavy kick. Is only -1 on block. So if you just want to try to just hit your opponent with a fast low from really far away and be safe on block, you definitely can try out the forward heavy kick. But I would say those are your 3 buttons that you would pretty much be using with Honda when you do drive gauge. Pretty much your usage for it. You can also do stuff like drive gauge command grab because it gives you like more range. If you're not ready for drive rush, you can definitely catch your opponent off guard with this. So I would say that is pretty much what you want to use for your drive gauge. Next, which I did forget to talk about in the Cammy video, is burnout strategies for Honda. When you have your opponent burnt out, you know that you do become +4 on block on every button now. So if a button like forward heavy kick, for instance, is -5 on block, now it is -1 on block. So you will never be punished no matter where you throw this out from. Which makes this button really good in burnout to just throw out at any moment. But the big strategy, I think, for Honda, of course, since you get chip damage in burnout and light hands is 0, you can spam light hands, crouch jab, light hands, crouch jab. And the worst going to happen is if your opponent mashed their 4th frame on this, it will trade. But at best, your opponent may press a different button, not realizing how minus it is, or realizing that it's just 0 on block. And it's just really nothing they can do. Also, you want to think about using headbutt and butt slam. The butt slam is really good because it is +5 in burnout. So when you do crouch jab, you can't mash through this. This is a true block string. This is a true block string on chip damage. So there's nothing you can do about this. Well, not the headbutt, but if you do butt slam into crouch jab hands and you time it correctly, there's nothing your opponent can do to get out of that. It's mash free. And that is 100% all chip damage. And another good thing, if this move now becomes +1, this move is +1 now and burnout. So you can definitely just kind of toss this out. And now you're +1 in your opponent's face. So those, I would say, are the important things to do when you put your opponent in burnout with E Honda. You want to try to get those things off. Either make them block headbutt, block the butt slam, or block light hands, because it's just going to give you a lot of chip damage. I would say the crouch jab hands is the best way to spam in this for chip damage. because it is 0 on block, so the worst going to happen is you're going to trade, or your opponent maybe their mad super and the super will hit you, but you will never be able to get hit by a button. So I think that is very, very important. Next thing we're going to go over is Honda Meaty setups. He doesn't really have many mid-screen, I would say, because everything he does kind of put him far away, unless you were to land butt slam. Anywhere that you land butt slam, this Meaty is going to be important. Dash grab is auto time. Butt smash, dash grab is going to be Meaty. And if you don't want to grab, you can do butt slash and dash jab. Reason for this being, after butt slam, dash jab is 0 on block. Instead of it being -1 like usual, it becomes 0 on block, so it means it's nobody's real turn anymore. Obviously, you can chain your crouch jabs to get frame traps, but it is very good. There's a very good Meaty with Honda mid-screen. In the corner, I would say after headbutt, you can do crouch dash, crouch jab, throw. Yoink. And just like the other one, 2 crouch jabs is going to be a Meaty here. But dash, crouch jab, throw, that's a Meaty grab every time. So you are going to be safe to back dashes and jumps. If your opponent does do that on wake up, you will be able to block in time, so you do not get a punish counter and get thrown back into the corner if they do make a read with a back dash on your headbutt. I forget exactly what it was. You get a sumo spirit. So if you have a stock with Honda and you do land his target combo in the corner, you can just go right back into another one, and you kind of just loop it. It's +6 on block, so you're very plus in this situation. And you just get your buff back, so it's very good. And the last Meaty with Honda is going to be his throw loop. Obviously, you don't actually get a throw loop with Honda if you don't use meter. So if you do this into this, and your opponent wants to wake up with their whatever button, honestly, but we're going to do it reuse. Of course, it's fast crouching jab. If you see this, I can never throw loop Ryu with Honda. But if you do this, very important. Look at that. If you do that and your opponent wakes up with a button, you can get trade combos now. If your opponent wakes up with a button here, you can get a trade combo that does a pretty good amount of damage. So they cannot wake up button here. The only problem with this, I do not think it's safe to EX DPs. Yeah. So that is the one weakness of this setup. So I do want to let y'all know about that. If your opponent do wake up DP, you will get hit, but maybe you could bait them by just tapping parry. But of course, that's if they know about that in the setup, which I don't think most people would. So that is going to be your important Meaty setups with Honda. And now we're going to move over to Honda's combos. Obviously, combos are a big part of the game. So first we have the basic combo, jab, 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 hands. So this is going to be a combo that you probably have to do a lot with Honda. If not jab, 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 hand, you'll do jab, 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 medium, headbutt. These will be things that you do a lot with Honda. Very important combos. Next one we're going to have is standing medium punch, crouch jab. Headbutt is going to be another one that you might see yourself doing a lot because your opponent might get hit with your Meaty stand medium punch a lot on wake up trying to jump or backdash. So you'll see yourself getting this combo off a lot. And these are all non-counter hit combos. Another combo, if you do happen to like land a big jump in or something, you'll be able to do this combo, which is, you know, or any special move ender that you would like. I would prefer to do this because you get the good Oki. So if you land a jump in, this is going to be your go-to combo. No meter, no resources. You're going to kind of want to do this combo. These are all just Honda's easy combos. So now we're going to go over Honda's counter hit combos, which is if you get a counter hit crouch and medium punch, you'll always be able to do crouch, jab, into headbutt. He doesn't have big counter hit combos like other characters. This is E Honda. So it's pretty much going to be the same thing. For most of his buttons on counter hit, he'll just be able to link into the crouching jab into headbutt for the most part. No matter what kind of counter hit you get, that is going to be your go-to combo off of buttons. Literally any button that you get counter hit with Honda, you can do this combo. Those are going to be might be your counter hit combos with Honda. Next is going to be your punish counter combos, which I think is very important because Honda has one of the most important punish counter combos in this game, and it's going to be off of this stand fears here. So as you see, where you go drunk, you do stand fears. If you get it close as a punish counter, let's say you punish a DP, you don't really need to use any bar to do this. And then, you know, you just go into your ender, which I would prefer butt slam. Get a good Oki. Stand fierce, heavy kick into the rise is going to be your go-to combo to punish DPs pretty much. Now, if you get punish counter mediums, that's when you can start to do medium into medium. So if you get stand medium punch, you can do crouch medium, headbutt. If you get stand jab, you could do crouch. Also from crouch jab. So from punish counter, you get a lot of big combos with Honda. But it's going to be very hard to get punish counter with these normals if you're trying to whiff punish stuff. So I wouldn't really worry about these combos too much. But it's just like the regular counter hit, how everything links to crouch and medium punch. Crouch jab. With punish counter mediums, you can do crouch and medium punch into headbutt pretty much from all of his buttons. But the big combo is just going to be really the stand heavy punch punish counter combo. Do want to make notice that if you do land this punish counter here for combos, let's say you land a whiff punish, sometimes the stand heavy kick won't connect, as you can see there from drive rush. So you do want to, if you do land it like that, you want to kind of just improvise and do a standing medium punch instead, and then your combo will be saved. So I do want people to know that every range you cannot land a heavy kick from. If you do want that extra damage, sometimes you will have to switch it out and substitute it for the standard medium punch. One more punish counter combo is going to be with his crouching fears. So if you get a whip punish with crouching fears, you're able to link his target combo at a lot of good ranges. So if you get a whip punish with this, you do target combo into hands, or of course you could do target combo into headbutt. And if you're a bit too far, you can always just do crouch jab, headbutt. Very good combo in my opinion with E Honda if you do get a whip punish with the crouching fears. So those are going to be big combos for the punish counter. And next we are going to have Honda's leveled up combos, because we have to do a separate thing for these combos, and then we'll do drive rush after this. So when you get this level, the sumo spirit level, you're able to pretty much just link a crouch jab after. So you're able to do that after any hands that you land. You're able to get crouch jab into headbutt with the sumo spirit. So that is one of the combos that you're able to do from, no matter if you land jab hands or if you land either from jabs, it's all going to be +4 no matter the ender. You're always able to do that. Now the next one is going to be when you get a juggle in the sky, you have the buff. You're able to get this ground bounce where you're able to do either double hands, you could do headbutt after, but you are able to get double hands or a headbutt after if you have the buff one from a juggle. So they are going to be your main combos to juggle with Honda. Next, we have Honda's drive rush combos. So good combos I do like to do with Honda drive rush. Let's take it off. Obviously, if you land a jab, you can do jab into crouching medium punch and just push your opponent towards the corner. Next one is going to be off a stand medium punch. You're able to get standing medium punch drive rush into heavy kick into the rods combo. Hold on. So that is going to be pretty much your combo off a standing medium punch. Could do things like that. But your basic combo always going to be that standing medium punch into stand heavy kick. Make them rise up, and then, you know, combo ender of your choice there. And then also you can do drive rush combos. When you have this, I like to get a little crouch fierce into, and that I think is a lot of good damage for a combo like that, and there's a lot of corner push, so it's very important for Honda, in my opinion, to do combos like that to just get your opponent towards the corner as quick as possible. And of course, if you want, you can do, you know, combos into the level 3, obviously, if you know the rules of the Street Fighter game. I don't really need to explain to you level 3 combos. You'll kind of just understand them from playing. You know, you can't do any special move into a level 3, so anytime you land 100 hand slap, you can do a level 3 combo ender. Now, last category for us to go over Honda, pretty much my strategy and thought process of what I do when I'm going into a match with Honda. So a big part of the strategy, of course, is burning your opponent's drive gauge bar down with headbutt on block. You see it takes a whole bar, so very important part of Honda's strategy. And I would say also trying to just end block strings with headbutt a lot of the time, because you just want that drive gauge down as much as possible. Another strategy I would say is when you have your opponent in the corner with Honda, I think staying at this range is very good, because your opponent can't really do much to you, and then now Honda can anti-air with either headbutt or stand and heavy punch every time, while still being safe to do a forward heavy kick or maybe even a jab into hands. So this is going to be very important to keep your opponent in the corner from standing at around this range, because a lot of Honda's buttons advance forward, so you will be able to hit them with a crouch fierce, whiff punish with a medium, or even you could toss out a sweep from this range, because it will space you out at a good enough range. So when you have people in the corner, I feel like these are the things that you want to do and what you want to look for or try to stand at with Honda, so that you don't really get, you know, your opponent don't try to jump you into the corner right away. These ranges, or this range, will be pretty important to stand at, I think, with Honda. Also, a big part of the strategy with Honda is getting this move online, because this move just makes your neutral that much more scary with Honda. It makes it so you can cancel standing heavy punch from every range. So as you see, I can't cancel standing heavy punch ever from these ranges. But if you get the sumo spirit, you can cancel it from these ranges. It usually only cancelable from like this close. But with the sumo spirit, you actually get able to cancel it from any range. So it is very good. It's very important to learn to get the confirm down. He was looking good too. Look at that. As you can see, getting hit confirm that, and another one is going to be to hit confirm this crouching heavy punch also into the punch or 100 hand slap. These are a big part of Honda's strategy, in my opinion. So definitely want to work on the hit confirms for those buttons on this move. That way you could just get big damage and combos from just straight hits and neutral like that. So I think those are Honda's like big Honda strategy. Also, you want to just look for whiff punishes with this stand fears, because it is going to give you chance to get big damage and push your opponent towards the corner fast. So always trying to find a whiff punish with the standing heavy punch is going to be big. Also looking for whiff punishes with this button, forward heavy kick, because it does just knock your opponent backwards and it allows you to get good pressure on top of just in general just being a really good poke. You want to just toss out quite often with Honda. You maybe could get drive impacted, but that's just kind of the risk we play of playing this game, right? So this button is going to be very important for you in neutral as an E-Honda player. And I pretty much say that's probably coming to the end of the Honda guide. I think we covered pretty much everything, all my thoughts, how I go and approach matches with Honda, my combos that I use or that I think are good. We went through his normals, his special moves. So yeah, we pretty much went through everything with E-Honda. I hope y'all do not hate me over there on YouTube. I told y'all that Honda looked fun when this game was coming out, and I'm afraid to say that he is very fun, and I'm ashamed of myself. But I'm not going to hurt my fun because we hate Honda. Don't worry, I still hate Honda like the rest of y'all, but I play him also. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy Honda just as much as I hate him these days. So it is what it is. So let me know how y'all felt about the E-Honda guide, and if it did help you out a lot, let me know down in the comment section below. Probably missing some things. I feel like I didn't grind Honda as hard as I did Cammy, so maybe the guide isn't as good as the Cammy one, but I still try to cover as much stuff and just things that's going to help you become a better Honda player from watching this video. So let me know what y'all thought of the guide today, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.